Now put a heading, primitive and reference types. Primitive and reference types. This is again a very basic topic. Okay, you already know, but just you don't know these terminologies. But what do you mean by primitive and what do you mean by reference types? Okay. Now what we have in primitive types. Okay. So the data types like data types like int, then float, then double, then boolean, byte, long, char. Okay. Now this data types comes under primitive types. Now why they are known as primitive types? Okay, because when we create any integer instance variable, by default it gets value of 0. Okay, so they get by default values. By default values. That is first thing. Okay, then second property of primitive types is they can hold only one value at a time. Okay, so this is the second property of this primitive types. Okay, so this basic data types are known as primitive types. Why? Because they get a default value 0 and they can hold only one value at a time. So in our program, if you say, okay, so this is what this up to this point, this is a declaration plus initialization, right? So in a memory, we will allocate a memory location for A and 10 will be stored there. Okay, consider there are few lines in between and then we have this line. Okay, so B into, so let's say A is 20 now. Okay, what happens? Will another A will be created in memory? No, right? So that previous value will be lost and A will be holding 20 now, right? So they can hold only one value at a time. That is the thing, right? Okay, then next one is reference type. Okay. Anything other than primitive type is known as reference type. That is a basic definition of reference type. So they say non-primitive types are known as reference type. Very basic definition. Non-primitive type. Okay, the types which are not here will be reference type. Okay, so that includes arrays, then classes, okay, and arrays, classes, and that's it. Okay, so in array, now how reference types are different than the primitive ones? See, now first point regarding reference type is by default they are assigned to null. Okay, so I will give one example. So consider we have account class, account acc equals to just account acc. Okay, now we have not allocated memory to acc, right? For memory allocation we have keyword called new, right? Okay, so when we have this much code, okay, so acc will have null value. Okay, null value means there is nothing inside acc. Okay, so acc will have null value. Second point is how much value they can hold. Okay, so that is different for every different reference type. Now we know that arrays can store multiple values. So when we say int arr, okay, so let us go with our regular example. If I am storing your marks, okay, marks equals to new int, and in bracket if I am storing the marks of 69 students. Okay, so they may hold multiple values at a time. Okay, and by default they get null values. Okay, and we generally call this ACC. Okay, so I will complete that example. Account ACC equals to new account bracket. Now you tell me, we have studied different concept. Are you familiar with this line? This much, the highlighted one. What is this?
Sir, a method.
Constructor.
Method. Okay. Any other answer?
Constructor.
Constructor. Yes, constructor is the correct answer. See, account is a class, right? ACC is the object. Okay, and we have written under constructor that it gets called implicitly when you create an object. So here you are creating object, right? Using a new keyword, you are allocating a memory for this object. And how much memory? मेमोरी इक्वल्स टू द इंस्टेंस वेरिएबल. जितने भी इंस्टेंस वेरिएबल है उनको स्टोर करने के लिए जितनी मेमोरी लगेगी उतनी अलोकेट की जाएगी, राइट? सो दिस इज अ कॉल टू अ कंस्ट्रक्टर. सो कंस्ट्रक्टर विल क्रिएट अ कॉपी ऑफ इंस्टेंस वेरिएबल फॉर दिस ACC. ओके, लेट्स कॉल दिस ACC1 अकाउंट ऑफ फर्स्ट पर्सन. सो जितने भी वेरिएबल रहेंगे जैसे कि अकाउंट नंबर हो गया, एड्रेस हो गया, देन नॉमिनीज हो गया, उतने स्टोर करने के लिए जितने भी वेरिएबल्स हैं उनको मेमोरी अलोकेट होगा. एंड दैट मेमोरी रेफरेंस विल बी रिटर्न बाय न्यू कीवर्ड, है ना? वो मेमोरी का एड्रेस रिटर्न होगा एंड दैट विल बी कैच बाय ACC1. ओके, सो रेफरेंस कैच कर रहे हैं, दैट्स व्हाई दिस टाइप इज नोन एज रेफरेंस टाइप्स. सिंपल. Okay, now here primitive types is actually storing the value, okay, directly value, but reference types are just holding the address of that memory location. Okay, so just understand the meaning of this line. Okay, just compare it with int a equals to 10. Okay, so account is a type, okay, a class type similar to int. This is a variable. Okay, a is also variable. Okay, then assignment operator. Here this ACC will be holding a reference, a is holding the address, sorry, a is holding the value. How the address is acquired? We have evoked the constructor. Our constructor will do the initialization. Okay, and then the memory block will be allocated and the reference will be written by this new. That allocation will happen with the help of new and that will be held by ACC1. Okay, so that is regarding reference type. Okay, so I will give you the notes. Okay, I will create one document and share it with you. Okay, just put a heading and leave one page for this. Okay, just after the class, I will share the notes. Okay, same point will be there. Okay, so we will talk about the default value there. Primitive type will get default value, so the numbers will get 0 and we have a boolean value here. Okay, so boolean by default gets a false value, remember. Okay, boolean जो भी रहेगा, suppose boolean is जो भी वेरिएबल रहेगा, ठीक है, पास और फेल, बाय डिफॉल्ट ये फॉल्स को इनिशियलाइज होता है ना? बुलियन को ट्रू और फॉल्स ही वैल्यू रहेंगे, बाय डिफॉल्ट इट गेट्स फॉल्स वैल्यू. ओके, so I will share the notes regarding this primitive type and reference type. Okay, now let us see the syllabus. Now we are completing our third unit. See, we have just now discussed Java class libraries. Same topic they have repeated in unit number 2 also, Java API packages. Okay, so this is done. Okay, then primitive types versus reference type is done. Okay, double type we have covered. Okay, and no need to discuss separately on double types. Then initializing objects with constructor is done. So constructor concept you know now. Okay, and there is one concept that we have missed, memory concept. Okay, this is very fundamental concept. Just for the sake of completeness, I will explain memory concept. Okay, and rest is over. Okay, so our first three units are over by today. Okay, so let us discuss about memory concepts. Okay, now they have designed this syllabus using this detail book. Okay, so it is coming in that sequence. Okay, so they have referred this book. So just yes, very fundamental concept. Now what they are saying in memory concept. So variable names such as number one, number two, and sum actually correspond to the location in the computer's memory. Okay, so diagrammatically we can represent that memory location with this block. Okay, so number one is holding 45 value. Okay, now let us consider that this 45 is coming from the scanner. So we have function next int, right? Okay, let us consider that we have scanned. Suppose that user enters 45. So 45 is assigned to number one, right? So in the memory location of number one, 45 got stored. Okay. Then similarly, we have this next statement for number two. So in memory, we can represent that using these two blocks. One is referenced by number one, number two. Okay. So now they are explaining how the assignment happens internally. Okay. What happens in memory that they are explaining. Now then we have this statement. In previous program, they have this statement. Sum equals to number one plus number two. Okay, so number one की value कितनी है 45, number two की 72. That got stored in some variable. Okay, and sum which will be having its default value. Okay, default value will be 0. Now that 0 will be lost and we will have 117 at that location. Getting? Okay, so when you have a assignment, okay, and if the previous value is there, that previous value will get lost and will have the new value there. So that is the memory concept. Okay, so you are aware about this concept, right? Okay, so that's it. That is the memory concept, very basic concept, and that is also over. Okay, so I will provide the notes on this thing and this thing after this class. Okay, just we'll start with the next concept, that is inheritance. We'll see the example, and tomorrow we will see the theory part. Okay. Okay, so let us uh,
सर
yes,
कितने पेजेस छोड़ने हैं
कितना पेजेस. ओके, सो आपने प्रिमिटिव और रेफरेंस टाइप का हेडिंग दिया है.
यस सर
यस, और मेमोरी कंसेप्ट विल रिक्वायर हाफ पेज.
ओके
ठीक है. जस्ट टू समराइज, यू हैव लेफ्ट वन पेज फॉर स्टैटिक प्रोग्राम. देन वी स्टार्टेड विद जावा क्लास लाइब्रेरीज. उसमें आपने थ्योरी लिखा, ट्री डायग्राम, उसके बाद टेबल के लिए स्पेस छोड़ा है. ठीक है, और उसके बाद आप पैकेज स्टार्ट किया हमने. कंसेप्ट पैकेजेस, पैकेजेस में हमने थोड़ा थ्योरी लिखा. ठीक है, उसके बाद आपने वो 3 फाइल्स के लिए स्पेस छोड़ा है, 3 प्रोग्राम्स के लिए. ठीक है, क्यूब, स्क्वायर और ट्रायल टेस्ट. उसके बाद आपने प्रिमिटिव वर्सेस रेफरेंस टाइप, उसके लिए 1 पेज छोड़ा है. मेमोरी कंसेप्ट के लिए हाफ पेज छोड़ दीजिए.
ओके सर
Okay. Now put a heading unit number 4, inheritance and polymorphism in Java. Very important concept, and this is not there in C now. Okay, so now this concept will be new to you. Unit number 4, inheritance and polymorphism in Java. Done? Okay, so what is our example? Okay, so let us first discuss. Okay, so we'll start with inheritance. Now because of inheritance we can achieve reusability in our Java language. Reusability. Okay, so someone has provided few methods inside one class. Suppose I want to use those ready-made methods. Okay, so what I will do? So consider we have a class, okay, which is having, let's say, three methods, okay, which I want to use. Okay, so what I can do, I will inherit that a into b, okay, using inheritance concept, and we'll make a use of those methods. Okay, so that's how we can reduce the complexity of our program. Okay, so same methods are not defined in b, okay, and we are achieving reusability. If something is there, so why not to use them, right? Reusability. Okay, so let us consider our example. So what we are going to do, we are going to write one class known as basic arithmetic operations. Okay, this is our class. Okay, inside that we are going to write two methods. First one is very basic arithmetic operation, that is add. Okay, we'll add two numbers, and then we'll write another method called minus or subtract for subtraction. Okay, this is our class number one. Now, uh, someone's mic is on. Okay, basic arithmetic operation is our base class, and then we have arithmetic operation class. Okay, where I have multiply method, which will multiply two numbers, and divide. Okay, now consider this basic arithmetic operation class is already available with me. Okay, somebody has already implemented and minus. Okay, and I am writing this arithmetic operation class. Now we know that add and minus are arithmetic operations only, right? So why can't I use this predefined ready-made methods, right? So what I will do, I will inherit this class into my class. Okay, so this method will be virtually present in my class. Okay, and then I can make use of this. So how to use this, how to achieve inheritance? For that we have to use extends keyword. Okay, extends. So what we have to write, class arithmetic operation extends basic arithmetic operation. From the word itself, you can understand the meaning. What I am doing, I am extending this class. Okay, I am extending this original class. Okay, so I will be using the features, existing features, plus I am providing additional feature. I am extending it. Getting this line? I'm extending it. I'm going to use the existing features coming from the base class. Okay, so this is known as a base class, and this is known as the derived class. Okay, just note down. We have different terminologies this here. So this is known as base class or derived class. This is known as super class. This derived one is also known as a subclass. This base class is also known as the parent class. Derived class is also known as a child class. Okay, by these terms we mean the same thing. Okay, derived class is also known as subclass or child class. Base class is also known as super class or parent class. Okay, so this is the inheritance concept. Okay, so this is our plan. We are going to create two classes, basic arithmetic operation having two methods and minus basic operations, and then I'm going to implement arithmetic operation having multiply and divide method, and then we'll write another class which will make use of this methods. Okay, so just focus. Okay. Class basic arithmetic operations. Opening bracket, closing bracket. Okay. Then public. Okay. Now this add method is going to return. Okay. So let us define for double. So double can handle integer values also. So it is better to use double instead of integer value. Double B. Okay. So add will add A and B and we will return the result. Okay, so return the result of addition of these two. Okay, so just simply add those and you return that. Okay, and similarly we'll have the subtract method. Subtract. Okay, so just operator is minus. Okay, so basic arithmetic operation, it is an existing class, it is a base class. Okay, so let me write here base class. Okay, and suppose I am defining another class called arithmetic operation. Arithmetic operations. Okay, and we want to reuse the existing code. So for that we go for the inheritance, and inheritance is achieved with the help of extends keyword. Okay, and you will extend this existing class. Okay, so use the existing feature plus provide the additional feature. Okay, so you extend that class. Okay, so we have decided that arithmetic operation is going to have multiply. Okay, so multiply का symbol है asterisk and then divide. Okay, so when we divide we have to take one care. Can anybody tell me?
Denominator should not be 0.
Yes, right. So if denominator is 0, don't go for this operation. Otherwise, you will get a runtime exception. Okay. So if b is 0, so you are handling that exception manually. Return 0. Else, okay, is it fine? If b, it is a denominator, a is numerator. If denominator is 0, return 0. Otherwise, everything is fine. You return the division. Okay, now we'll write our class test just to make use of this two classes, public static void main string args. Okay, now we know that in order to evoke this method we need an object of this class. Okay, you know the steps of object creation. So define obj, it is an object of this type new. Okay, and then on this object now I can call multiply method. There is no problem here, right? We can call multiply method. So let's multiply 12 with 5. Okay, there is no problem with this call, right? Multiply is there in arithmetic operation class. Then similarly we can call divide method. Okay, now can I call add method? Anyone?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, because of inheritance. Though it is not written inside the arithmetic operation, add is not there, but through inheritance it came to that class. Okay, virtually it is there. So you can actually call add also, and you can call subtract also. Subtract. We know the expected results. Okay, so let us check the output. We'll do the addition first. Okay, so system out dot println, we are just printing the values. Okay, so these functions, these methods are going to return some value. Okay, see the return type, double, double, right? By public, what I mean, this method, okay, they should be visible to all, right? That's why we have declared them as public. Okay, that is the reason I define them public. Okay, even if I remove this now, it is going to work, no need. Okay, no need to put that, but we are going to see this public private protected concept in the upcoming lectures in this unit only, so don't worry about that. So addition, so 17, then 7, then 60, and some fractional value here, 2 point something. That is the expected result. So let us compile this cmd java c program 61 underscore inheritance dot java. Okay, we have missed one bracket. Okay, save. जावा टेस्ट क्लास नेम मेन किस में है टेस्ट में है सो जावा टेस्ट 17 7 60 2 point something, that is 2.4, right? Okay, now can we just inherit methods only? We know that class is made up of two things, method and another one is, anyone?
Instance variable.
Instance variable, right? Any class will be made up of two things, methods and instance variable. So can't we inherit the instance variable? Yes, we can. So if I have one constant defined called pi, ओके, पाई एक कांस्टेंट है, आपने नोटेशन, हमने नेमिंग कन्वेंशन पढ़ा है, कांस्टेंट शुड बी डिक्लेयर इन कैप्स. ओके, सो whether the pi is coming here through inheritance, let us check that. obj और pi की वैल्यू हम प्रिंट करेंगे. Sorry. Okay, it is a fractional value, it should be double. Java test. Yes. So instance variable also get inherited, okay, along with the methods. That is the concept. Okay. So just quickly I will tell you different types of inheritance. The first type is when you have, okay, so this is base class, this is derived class. So when you have a single base class and single inherited class or a derived class, that is known as a single inheritance. Single inheritance. Okay, when you have this hierarchy, okay, so you have a base class, you have a derived class which is also base class of another derived class. This is known as multi-level inheritance. Okay, and then you have this structure when a single class is derived into a multiple classes. Okay, single base class, and this is b d1 and d2. Okay, so single base class into multiple derived class, this is known as hierarchical inheritance. And then there is a controversial inheritance when you have multiple base classes and single derived class. Okay, this is controversial because if we have, let's say, print method here. Okay, print method here and print method here also. Okay, now यहाँ पे कौन सा function call होगा? That creates a controversy, right? Okay, so this is known as multiple inheritance. Multiple parents. Okay, okay, this is not allowed in Java, allowed in C++. Okay, but not allowed in Java, so we don't have multiple inheritance in Java. Okay, so we'll talk about multiple inheritance, why it is avoided in Java. Okay, so these are the, and you can combine, you can have a combination of this. Okay, and that creates a hybrid inheritance. Okay, that is known as a hybrid. Okay, so you may have a structure like this. Okay, so this is a multi-level inheritance. Okay, and you may have like this. No, sorry, you avoid this. um, and like this. Okay, so this part is having a multi-level inheritance and this is having a hierarchical inheritance. Okay, so combination of this inheritance is known as hybrid inheritance. Okay, so we'll talk about this in detail. So have you understood this concept, inheritance?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so what we are achieving, reusability. Okay, use with the help of inheritance, that is the concept. Okay, so we'll talk about inheritance in next class. I will give you some theory, so please mark your attendance. Okay, we'll stop here. Thank you.